ですと。 There's a metal plaque on the bench.
Is there a
I think that someone scratched it off.
Just dusty junk.
What's in that little box? I bet it's bones. A skull, at least.
Maybe I won't open it. Just dusty junk. What is that?
Not sure.
Looks like it might attach to something.
Nothing catching mine.
Sorry, is this...
Kind of. Nothing catching mine.
Sorry, is
Kind
this...
of. Where's that light coming?
Just there's a decent gap between them. Is that what I think it is? Is that what I think it is? It's a statue standing up straight.
You know, there's a name for
I
it.
know.
It's not quite as dust. Also, it's stuffed.
It's a...
You know, there's not... Also, it's stuffed.
Just dusty junk.
Someone painted out the window.
Do you think it was
No
done?
idea. Either way, it's pretty suspicious. Nothing catching my interest.
Sorry, is
Kinda.
Flora, this is... Why do you keep it locked?
Is there supposed to be...
The whole room
Yeah,
is...
there might be a reason for that. A bunch of old books covered in dust now, but they look well read. We already solved it.
The outline of... There's a single... No real...
That's weird.
What?
Her feet were right up by the canvas.
So?
So she was probably standing really close to the canvas when
Let's
she...
check the case file again. Freya's painting supplies. Half the room.
I don't know if you can call it the sudden absence of wall.
Half the...
I don't know if you can call it the sudden absence of wall.
There it is. The unfinished portrait of Flora Fellow.
So...
Looks that way. The whole room
Yeah,
is...
there might be a reason.
That's the only...
It's also...
Sure is. That's a massive...
I hope so. Shelf junk. You get a good view of the lake from here.
Puffer?
Yes, it's also a lamp, for some reason. A lot of redundant light sources in here.
Why would someone lock up a book like that?
We think it's a secret diary.
Aha! Teenagers are funny, aren't they? Where did you find that?
It was in the library.
Really? How odd. What's this all about? Some kind of...
I'm pretty sure that...
If it's made of gold? That looks like it might belong. Ah, you found... What, I had to rush the final. It turned out all right.
What's it supposed to be?
It's Flora, of course. Surrounded by all her favorite people.
He's an imp.
What does...
Well, if you tell
Oh.
the entire room.
Oh, it's not just... I think it's the actual host. A pencil drawer.
Mood. That poor
Looks
healthy.
pretty.
I think it would rather be outside.
It's a little handmade. Inside it says, "To Fitz from PP." And it's the back of that
Told you it was just a
Just a rock? That thing has a face! An empty glass.
Looking at
Why?
it, I don't know. Quit solving. Not every room is going to be full of clues.
Doesn't look soft.
We already solved it. The door's unlocked.
It's a rose bush. Apart from a couple of loose
The
petals.
roses are bright red, too.
Aren't
Exactly. That's one big
Or
dragon.
one very small one. Ah, a little water.
It's making-
Wonder how it's hooked up.
Giant stone frog.
Ah, he's got his tongue out like
Except those aren't snowflakes. They're feathers. It's so relaxed. I might just stay here.
Oh, shall I go finish the investigation?
That'd be great.
Oh, good. I'm glad to know there's a way to get across that tiny...
Not all bridges are bad. More egg statues.
I don't get it.
Well, either the sculptor was just
What do
really...
you mean?
An egg has got to be the easiest shape.
Trees.
In a garden.
In a garden. On a roof. A little
It
pond.
looks really, really deep for some reason. See those metal bars around the edges too?
Oh, yeah.
That looks like somebody broke them and then never bothered to fix it.
It's
He's playing a lute.
He's also
Well,
wearing-
they're not and they're not headphones. They're earmuffs.
the door into pocket.
So only Poppy.
Ah, I guess so.
It's so relaxed. I might just stay here.
That'd be great.
Stairs up to
Why, though? So there are two doors into the garden, right? One from the fellow side and one from the pointer side. But they weren't built at the same level. Just seems kinda sloppy. It's so relaxed. I might just stay.
That'd be
It's the window.
You know, I wish my bedroom window had a view this nice.
A new suspect. Don't think you can get out being questioned just because you're a bear.
I'm innocent, I promise.
Save it for the judge. Scientific formulas, probably. I'll openly admit I have no idea what any of it means.
Boxes of stuff. Boxes of stuff.
That's a whole lot of books. Fifi's got something.
What is all this? It's Poppy. That's actually a pretty good drawing.
Is that supposed to be me? Why do I look so angry?
That's just the face you make when you're thinking. Does make you wonder, though. When did Fifi draw all this? Looks like Fitz.
That's you, Sally.
What? I do not look like that.
I think that's supposed to be Felix.
It's Detective Hawkshaw.
That's gotta be Flora.
It's a drawing of Penny.
Looks like Professor Pointer. Is Fifi trying to solve the mystery with math equations?
Maybe. Did you ever try that? Maybe it works.
Is Fifi...
Maybe. Did you ever try that?
Is Fifi...
Maybe. Did you ever try that?
Did you notice who isn't on here?
Freya?
Mm-hmm. And Fifi herself. It's a bed.
Barely.
Crystal chandeliers.
I don't know. They just seem old-fashioned to me. Plus, they're kind of dusty.
That's a whole lot of... That's a whole lot...
Homemade posters. This one's about the Pythagoras.
I've not heard of that band. Are they any good? The stuff Fifi's thrown away.
You gonna rummage through the trash can?
No.
I give it 5 minutes before you're in there.
A pretty ornate window with a great view of the lake.
We're supposed to be looking for clues.
Yeah, a simple trick, but it really we already solved it. It's a magnifier.
How come you
Why? Should I start smoking?
You couldn't pull off a pipe.
What's that big book on the desk?
Looks like something
Is it
Fifi.
a clue?
I hope not. It's just a bunch of notes about her microbiology.
What's that big
Looks like something. I hope it's just a bunch of notes about her microbiology experiments.
Even though we're halfway up a tower, someone's been tracking in mud from outside.
Painting supplies. That painting.
Why would
Maybe
you-
Freya
the
enjoyed.
atmosphere?
Hang on. There's a smaller.
It's a photograph. Drawings.
What's that one?
Looks like one of them's holding a red rose. It's a...
I think it looks more
fine.
like.
It's
Could also be a shark.
a lot of these...
How can you tell if they're
Good point.
Freya's bear?
Looks pretty depressed.
He's had a rough couple of days.
Do you think this was all?
I don't know.
No windows either. Freya's plants. They must not need sunlight. It's Freya's bed. A little bit messy.
It's a perfectly healthy amount of messy.
That's weird.
What did you find in the drawer?
Nothing. They're completely empty. It's a little glass box.
I think it's a vivarium.
Come again?
See the leaves and twigs in there? Might have been for keeping insects. We already solved it.
Did Freya paint
They're
them?
kinda
Maybe she painted them when she was younger. Brushes.
They're clean, but they look pretty. It's musty in
What
here.
exactly is
Must. You ask such stupid
Nice.
questions.
Books about
The shelves are about...
Oh, so
You
you're
know
a
this already.
books about nature?
It's musty.
What
in here.
exactly does that
Must. You ask
mean?
such...
Nice. Sure, why not
The
build
search for the archiving, it's downright poetic.
a chalkboard?
Is this a library or a class?
Any idea what this means?
Not a clue.
I'm not sure I learned anything from that.
Name, Fitzfellow. Age, likes soil.
Hang on. Crypto?
That may well be his preference.
Do you and
We
Fitz?
do not.
Well, I wouldn't have thought so.
So, what's your problem with him?
Exactly 1 week ago, I witnessed him sneaking up Pointer Tower. He was making every effort to avoid detection.
So?
He was also carrying a knife. That blade,
It's a troll for gardening.
it is.
Is that?
Of sorts. Hey, look, it's a model of TangleTower. What are you thinking?
That would make an amazing.
Hey, it's a model. What are you thinking?
That would make an amazing.
Hey, it's a. What are you thinking?
That would make an amazing.
I'm not sure. Soil samples?
Sure, why not?
Research the archiving of old. It's downright poetic.
Sure, why not?
The art's downright poetic. Books about
They're
space.
relatively untouched. Books about insects.
Well, theoretically, there's not a single book on that shelf.
Huh. Books about insects.
Well, there's not a single.
Huh.
Books about geography.
Skip.
Books about geography.
Skip. Books about ancient history? I think.
These books are. I think they'd crumble into dust if I tried to pick them up.
Good excuse.
Thanks. It's an illustrated
And it's
book.
been left open.
Or it was left open.
Ever so slightly unnerving. Sure, why not?
The archive's downright poetic.
It's not locked.
Stairs.
A big letter F.
Of course. Who doesn't hang a giant banner of their initial in the lobby of their mansion?
It's a big
There are
glass.
weeds
It's
in
an
there.
aquarium?
Could be. Anymore. A door.
Oh, what's
A
behind
room.
it? Stairs.
We should try and be finished before pressure. Oh.
What?
Oh. There's an
Oh, yeah. TangleTower.
Tour. Do you think he'll start to move if we...
No, I think he'll just silently judge us.
Do you think he'll start to move if we try to go inside?
No, I think he'll...
It's red. It's just red.
Why build a house here anyway?
I'm sure they had their reasons. That leads back to the gardens.
I'm still not
Should we take another look?
Let's come back later. What animal is that?
Hawk, bear, lizard.
Right, of course. A hawk, bear, lizard.
It's a band.
It's
It's a
small.
one-man band.
It's full of the same.
Any fish in there?
Not a single one. Although there is.
It's a cassette tape. Or it used to be. Weird.
It's someone humming a tune. That's all four melodies, I think.
So, what do we do with them?
Should we go back to the gardens again?
Let's try this again.
You know, I think we might be able to solve this now. That's gotta...
Nothing. Maybe it's broken.
Wait, do you hear that?
Are we gonna go in?
Yeah, but there's a couple of things I want to do first.
Penelope is my fiancée.
Don't take this. Annie doesn't really.
She's not who she... People think
Well,
she... They...
And how's the...
Good. It's good. Looks like someone doesn't want you to read that book.
That's the main thing making me want to read it.
That looks like it might belong to Poppy. A flower.
Yeah, it's a flower. We found it in Penny's room.
Okay.
Mean anything to you?
Why would it?
Come on.
I don't really go into Penny's room or anywhere in Pointer Tower. I just don't have a reason to. Those petals, they,
What?
they're red.
Tools used by gardening.
It's bigger in here than I...
All the flowers here look kind of poisonous.
Can flowers be poisonous?
Anything can be poisonous.
Good to know.
All the flowers here. Anything.
Good to know. This one's in a little pot.
Okay, that is death.
Looks like a gemstone, don't you think? There's something about the report of Fitz going up Pointer Tower. Something suspicious.
Let's ask him about it.
So, Fitz, I have a report that you were seen sneaking up Pointer Tower. Holding a knife.
That's not right. I don't go into Pointer Tower. I don't own a knife. And I don't sneak. Was it Fifi who told you this?
How did you know that?
A guess. She doesn't like me very much. But yeah, she was mistaken. Maybe she wasn't wearing her eye lens thing.
What do you think, Grimoire?
Fifi did see Fitz, but he was holding something else.
So, if it wasn't a knife, what was it?
What about this?
Ah, that.
Is it yours?
It was a gift. It's sentimental. I have no reason to take it up Pointer Tower. I don't use it at all.
An ornate trowel is used by Fitz to look after a potted flower in Penny's room.
That flower.
Yes.
I've never seen it before.
We need a clue to compare to that flower. Something that proves its connection to Fitz.
Let's take a closer look at these. The pot and soil in Penny's room matches the pot and soil found in Fitz's greenhouse. Let me guess. Penny's flower was originally a gift from you, Fitz. There's no way it's a coincidence.
No way what's a coincidence.
The flower. It looks exactly like Penny.
It took me a long time to breed. I wanted the colors to be exactly right.
That's some gift.
Turns out Penny isn't particularly interested in looking after plants. So I go into her room every now and again. But when she's not there, water the flower, change the soil. Just trying to keep it alive.
Are we done?
For now, it's about time we found out what's beneath the garden.
This is a good example of how things work. I mix that soil here in the greenhouse. It's made with water from the lake.
And it makes the fruit grow all shiny and gem-stony.
Sometimes, you never really know what's going to happen.
And what do you do with this shiny and edible fruit?
You look at it.
This is mine.
Really?
No, well, yes, it was. I gave it to Freya about a year ago.
What was on it?
Nothing. It was blank. Freya said she wanted to record something.
Any idea how it ended up underwater?
Maybe someone wanted to destroy it, but got really lazy. Oh, you've been to the greenhouse? What did you think?
Impressive, I guess. But kind of unsettling, with Fitz lurking in the shadows the whole time.
Yeah, he does that.
It's one of those big pianos with the open lids.
Don't touch it.
Why not?
Might be haunted.
That's just daylight, right?
What else would it be?
Ooh, a secret diary.
That's our guess too.
Excellent. Goodness me. Poppy really doesn't take care of her belongings, does she?
It wasn't in Poppy's room. It was in the little pond in the garden.
Exactly! Hardly the place for it. Ooh, delightful. More of a gemstone than a fruit, isn't it?
Inedible, too, I think.
Yes. At one point I thought Fitz might be growing them to sell them. But honestly, I think he just likes the way they look.
And especially fancy.
And it's home to 3 especially fancy birds.
A diary can be a wonderful outlet for an outpouring of one's soul.
How do you know it's a diary?
I suppose I don't, but it does look like a diary. Isn't the process of decay fascinating?
It's not really decaying. It's plastic.
It's becoming one with nature, all the same. Fitz seems rather keen to grow things like this in his greenhouse, doesn't he?
What's wrong with that?
Well, you can't eat it. Makes you wonder why he bothers at all.
A picture frame.
With no picture.
Mistidy in the notebook.
So, even the most well-used notebooks.
Mistidy.
So, even the most well-used notebooks. We already solved it.
Every astronomy.
I want to try.
This belongs to Poppy. In fact, she owns a number of cassette tapes.
What happened to it, though?
It has been left underwater for an extended period of time.
Right, but why?
I do not know why. The fruit here has a unique chemical makeup. It makes them completely pointless, unless you wish to cut it down and sell it as a precious stone.
It's not edible.
Depends
On what?
on the structural integrity of your teeth.
That looks like it might belong to Poppy. And that looks like it might belong to Fitz.
Where'd you dig that up?
It wasn't buried. It was underwater.
Someone trying to conceal evidence, perhaps? The people here are surprisingly materialistic, considering how sheltered they are.
Materialistic?
Growing this fruit simply because it produces a gemstone-like material. For what possible purpose, other than financial gain?
You're speculating.
What would you do, Grimoire, if you could grow valuable stone straight from the earth?
Where do you think it goes?
Down. Is that a lab coat?
Warning, hand wash only. Size, small. A candle, perched on a barrel.
Very medieval.
I was thinking pirates.
Medieval pirates. It's a hatch.
But we're already in the basement.
Depends on your perspective.
Let's not go down just yet. We still haven't explored this room properly. Rows of plants, growing in wide wooden boxes.
What color is the soil?
It looks black, but it's too dark to tell.
This place would never pass a fire safety inspection. Bugs. Big ones.
Looks like they're made of metal.
Bugs.
Looks like they're made of metal. Hand-drawn entomology charts. Hand-drawn entomology charts. Hand-drawn entomology charts. It looks like they're being boiled, but the liquid is ice cold. It looks like that the liquid is ice cold.
Thirsty?
A cracked glass tank with 9 little rooms. Each one has 1 or 2 insects inside. I can't tell if they're still alive.
I like that you called them rooms.
It's so dark. I can barely tell what I'm looking at.
What a mess.
Any idea what this is all about? Is that a periodic table?
No, but it does kind of look like one.
What are those symbols?
They're alchemic symbols. Mostly based on the planets, the sun, the moon, stuff like that.
Huh. This looks like...
Didn't we see those same symbols in the greenhouse?
Reminds me of the chart from the library.
The one from the chalkboard.
Yeah.
What a mess.
Any idea what this is all about? What's in there? It's a little diagram of a beetle with some...
That's weird.
What?
It looks really normal compared to the beetles behind the glass.
9 beetles. All different, all dead.
Poor little guys.
There's a bunch of notes written all around them. It's mostly numbers. No idea what they mean. 9 beetles. There's a bunch, mostly numbers. 9 beetles. It's mostly numbers. It's a little... What?
It looks really compared to the beetles behind the glass.
chemistry apparatus.
Is it locked?
Seems likely, doesn't it? Weird looking safe.
I'm pretty sure the latches can slide into the middle.
That's the one.
Hey, not bad. Anything inside?
Yeah, more research.
Whose research is this? This is some seriously in-depth research.
It's impressive, but it's incomplete. There's a section missing.
So, this is Pointer's secret lab.
Definitely seems like he's the one using it.
I guess not a lot of people know about the secret entrance.
Right. But if Pointer's the only one who comes down here, why would he need to lock his research in a safe? Who's he hiding it from?
He's just paranoid, especially about his golden beetle.
What do you think he's trying to do exactly?
Pointer has been trying to breed the golden beetle in the underground laboratory.
Why? Because it's rare?
Because it's gold?
Is that it?
I think so. I don't think he cares about entomology any more than he cares about astronomy. He just wants to get one over on Felix. If he can breed his own gold, suddenly Poppy's inheritance is looking pretty,
Infinite. Might explain why he was so worried about losing the beetle. Maybe somebody did steal it.
Might have been Freya after all. We know she was trying to get through the secret door in the garden.
She might not have known what was down here, though. Maybe she was just curious.
Curious, sure, but not naive. I reckon she knew what was going on.
I think we're still missing the bigger picture. There's no way this is all just about a beetle. We're done.
Ready to go down? Again?
A glass tank? It's full of plants.
There's a layer of condensation on the inside.
Rows of plants.
What color is
It
this?
looks black, but it's...
What a mess.
Any idea what this is all about?
It's a hatch.
But we're all...
Depends on your perspective. We're too late. This photograph has been stabbed.
Why? By what?
Not sure. Some kind of metal stabbing thingy. So what's the photo? Do you know who it is in the photo? This man in the photo, he reminds me of something from one of our clues.
Felix made a little model of him? For Flora?
Yeah, Makes sense when you know who he is. Lord Fellow.
Really?
Wait, no, hang on.
Felix made a little model of him? For Flora?
Yeah, makes sense when you know who he is. Lord Remington.
Remington. That makes him Flora's father. Meaning the girl in the photo is...
Yeah, it's her. See the bird, too.
I never would have guessed. Times sure do change.
I don't know. I don't think she looks so different.
A single book on a little makeshift table.
This is creeping me out slightly.
Why?
I think it's a children's book. This room looks old. Like, old.
It makes the rest of the house seem relatively modern.
There's a roll of paper up there.
I'll see if I can reach it.
Let me guess. Blank.
Study. Wait.
I know what you're thinking. And no, we never went in there.
How did we miss it?
The Grand Hall.
What's that thing in the middle?
I think it's that big glass tube.
Music room.
A bedroom.
Penny's room, I think. A bedroom.
That's Fifi's room, isn't it?
Storage.
It's Freya's room. The library.
It's the aviary. The rooftop garden. That name makes a little more sense in this context.
It's the room above us. The one we were just in.
The laboratory?
Yeah.
That's the room we're in now. It must be. It's not labeled as anything on these plans, though.
I think it already existed when this was made.
So, the whole house is built on top of some kind of platform.
Apparently.
The rooftop garden. That name makes a little more... Misted Mansion. North side cross-section. Is it not TangleTower?
TangleTower. Before the towers?
That's the lake, right? I think that horizontal line might be the water level.
It used to be a lot lower down than it is now.
That's the room we're in now. It must be. It's not labeled.
I think it already existed when this was made.
Study. Wait.
I know what you're thinking.
And how did we miss it?
This seems pretty significant.
Agreed. It's an old coat rack. Looks thoroughly neglected.
2 cloaks, and a green hat draped on top for good measure.
Old cardboard boxes.
How exciting.
Oh, but there's more. They're also damp and empty.
Gives off kind of a dungeon vibe.
What do people actually use chains for?
Nothing good.
Basements don't normally have windows?
We're at the bottom of the lake. It must be.
Right. But if that's the lake bed, why does it look like that?
Like what?
White, smooth, no plants, no anything. That's not what a lake looks like.
Where are we?
Did you notice how much light this room has? For a room with one candle?
It's all coming through the window.
I'm pretty sure lakes are supposed to be darker at the bottom, not lighter.
Why is there a room down here anyway? And why is it so much older than the rest of TangleTower?
We still don't really know why people came to live here in the first place.
Maybe they just wanted to get rich, like Pointer with his beetles.
I feel like the Remingtons came here for the lake, for what was in it.
It's empty though. More empty than a normal lake would be.
It is now, yeah. Maybe we're too late. Let's head back up to the Grand Hall. I want to find that last room. Wow, it's dark all of a sudden.
How long were we down there?
The family tree. I can just about still make it out.
Pretty.
Fiona Fellow. We met her. She's one of the suspects. This must be it. This thing goes all the way up.
How are we supposed to get up there?
Hang on. It's pitch black, but I think there's a switch. A ladder.
Want to go up?
Is that a crab?
It's got a translucent exoskeleton. You can actually...
Also, crabs normally have 2 claws, right? You sure we should be touching it?
Grimoire, don't you think it looks familiar?
I guess
I don't think we need
What
to.
do you mean?
We have all the information we need in our case file. This crab really reminds...
That little-
Yeah, but I don't think that's going... I think I've seen it more recently.
Is that a crab?
It's gotta-
Also, crab. I guess that's
I don't
what
think
do you mean?
we have all the information we need in our case.
Nothing.
I'm sure I've seen this thing somewhere before.
Nope.
Wasn't this...
The children's book. Nope.
Wasn't this...
The children's book.
This crab really...
That little-
Yeah, but I think I've seen it more recently.
about it.
It's gotta-
Also, I guess.
I don't
What
think
do you
we
mean?
have all the information we need in our case.
Nothing.
I'm sure I've seen this thing.
Nope.
Wasn't
The
this
children's book. Nope.
wasn't
The
this
children's book.
this crab really?
That
Yeah,
little-
but I think I've seen it more recently. Hooks, big hooks. Those aren't bird cages.
Some of them are disconcertingly large.
At least they're all empty.
You sure that's a good thing? Some kind of fish and a bird skull, I guess?
If that's a bird skull, we're talking about a 15-foot bird here.
Well, how about we stop talking about it? Centipede? Millipede? How many legs has it got?
Too many. Watch out. Floor's wet.
Thanks. You know, in any normal room, this thing would be my main concern. In here, though, it barely makes the top 3. Who are all the people in this photo?
Not sure, but it looks like someone didn't like them very much. Their eyes have all been crossed out. That photo is important. I'm sure of it.
Another photograph.
Their faces are all crossed out with some kind of black ink.
That's weird.
Oh, you think so?
No, I mean, something I just realized. Sally, did we meet any of these people here at TangleTower?
Well, the woman on the left looks a little like Poppy, but her style is way different. And at first I thought the guy on the top right was Felix, but now that I look at it, I don't think it is him. Those,
Some
at
of
least
them,
they're
you sure that's a good thing? It's a wooden pin hung up on.
looks like there's a couple of things missing from it.
It's a wooden pin hung up on.
Looks like there's a couple of things missing from it. Do those look like scratch marks to you?
Yeah, they're on the inside. It's a wooden pin board hung up on one of the chains.
Looks like there's a couple of things missing from it. Nice chair.
It's still warm.
Maybe it's just heat from the incinerator.
Maybe. A wooden stool. Crumpled up paper.
Is there anything written on any of
Not
it?
really. It's mostly blank. Crumpled up
Is
paper.
there
Not
any-
really. It's mostly blank. Coffee table, half-empty wine bottle, lamp left on. I'm gonna say someone's been using this room.
Someone complacent enough to leave their notebook lying around. An axe and some kind of hunting rifle, mounted
Honestly, doesn't look like they've been moved in a few years.
I'm more worried about the third one.
The third one?
The one that isn't there. An axe and some kind of... I'm more
Honestly,
worried about the one that isn't there.
Dragon?
Snake?
Worm?
That's the one.
That's a bookcase.
What a surprise.
They called this room a study?
What would you call it?
The secret death chamber of doom. Is that a
It's
crab?
got a tree.
Also, crabs. I guess
I
that's
don't
what
think
you
we
mean.
have all the information we need in our case.
Perfect. What's this?
Something somebody didn't want us to find. What is it?
Was someone trying to hide it? From us?
I don't know, but it looks incomplete to me. I want to know what happened to the rest of it. Where are the other parts?
We found them already.
What do you make of it?
Not sure. Let's keep an open mind.
You don't think the crossbow is the murder weapon?
Oh no, the crossbow is definitely the murder weapon. But that doesn't mean we've solved the mystery. It's a wooden pin hung up.
Looks like there's a couple of things missing from it.
That's how we got in. It leads down into the Great Hall.
Doesn't look like there's any other way to get in or out.
Let's not wander off right now. Let's not wander off right now. Some kind of...
That's
Well, how about we stop talking about it? What's this?
something somebody didn't want us to find.
It's a wooden pin hung up.
Looks like there's a couple of things missing from it.
Who are all...
Not sure. Our eyes have all been crossed out.
Coffee table, half empty. I'm gonna say someone's been using this room.
Someone complacent enough to leave their notebook lying around.
An incinerator built into the wall. It's still pretty hot.
Is there anything left inside?
It's mostly ashes. But yeah, there's something. Someone's been using this room. I don't get it. This room is in the original building plans for the mansion, but nowadays it's some big secret?
It's not a secret to everybody. At least one other person still knows about this room.
The way the notebook was left out on the table makes me think it's someone who has the room all to themselves.
Whoever it was, they left more than just the notebook. There's a whole design project on this pinboard. Feels like someone put quite a bit of effort into it.
It's a shame there are things missing from it. Now, I'm betting it'd make more sense if we could see it all together.
That might not be impossible, you know.
The painting from Freya's room and those sketches. Did Freya design Detective Hawkshaw's clothes? What kind of sense does that make?
I don't think that's why Freya made that painting, but it may have been why somebody took a photo of it to use as reference. And as for those sketches of Hawkshaw, I don't think Freya actually drew them. It was somebody else, someone with less of a talent for art.
Doesn't exactly narrow it down. Should we go ask Detective Hawkshaw about all this?
I'm not sure. I still don't know what's really going on.
I don't get it. This nowadays
It's not a secret. At least
the
one.
way the makes me
Whoever it was, there's a whole design. Feels like someone put.
It's a shame there. I'm betting.
That might not.
The painting did Freya design?
I don't think that's why. But it may have been. As for those sketches, I don't think Freya. It was somebody else.
Doesn't exactly know. Should we?
I'm not sure. I still don't.
Time to solve this.
All right, break out the notebook. Time to put it all together.
Let's start with this. It's an arrow for the crossbow, and it matches Freya's wound. It's the murder weapon. I'm sure of it.
Despite the fact it doesn't have any blood on it, and it wasn't found anywhere near the crime scene.
Mm-hmm. It was cleaned, then it was hidden. I don't think anybody expected us to get down to that room at the bottom of the lake.
Okay, so Freya was shot by a crossbow. Where was it fired from?
It was fired from above Freya.
Above, huh?
Yeah, our diagram doesn't show everything. Let's add in the rest of the crime scene.
The attic.
Perfect hiding place. We even found a part of the murder weapon up there. The reel was used to pull the arrow back up through the crack in the floorboards.
Explains why we never found a weapon at the crime scene, I guess.
The murderer must have dropped the reel in the attic. I'm guessing they were in a hurry to escape.
Wait. The arrow was fired through the crack in the floorboards?
Yeah, it's directly above where Freya was found lying on her back.
Nope. Doesn't add up. It would have missed her if she was still standing up by the painting.
Ah, right.
Unless... Freya was already lying on her back before the arrow was fired.
I think so too. She was relaxing.
You think so?
Maybe not.
Freya was already lying on her back before the arrow was fired.
I think so too. fallen unconscious.
Something in the room caused Freya to fall unconscious.
Paint fumes.
I'm not sure about that.
Me neither.
Something in the room caused Freya to fall unconscious.
Flora.
I'm not sure about that.
Me neither.
Something in the room caused Freya to fall unconscious.
The gramophone.
Right.
But the gramophone by itself can't do that.
There is something in the gramophone.
Mm-hmm. Something small. Pointer's research says it can emit an incredibly loud hiss when it feels threatened. Poppy and Fitz both said they heard a loud noise around the time of the murder. Neither of them had any idea what it was.
This seems a little far-fetched. Is it really loud enough to knock someone out?
No, I don't think so, not by itself. But don't forget, it was being amplified by the shape of the gramophone. Now, I don't think we're purely talking about volume either. It might just be a particular type of frequency.
This is getting kinda scientific. Since when do you know anything about the effects of weaponized audio frequency?
I don't, but I think someone else does. Do you remember that statue we found in the music room? The horn it's playing. It's a pretty similar shape to the one on the gramophone. That broken glass isn't there on accident. This is someone's science experiment.
Thinking about it, Pointer said he saw Flora was knocked out too. I guess they were both in range of the noise, although Pointer might have been lying.
Personally, I think he was telling the truth about that. It's pretty clear a powerful frequency did pass through Flora's tower. Caused quite a bit of damage too. Those cracks didn't appear out of nowhere. Freya's paints, the pink cassette tape, and the gramophone itself, they all sustained similar damage while they were in that room.
That's some seriously powerful vibration, enough to crack metal, enough to knock someone out all the way across a room.
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't get. If the frequency was so powerful and had such a big range, how did the murderer pull it off? Wouldn't they have been in range too? Think about it. They can't have been much further away from the gramophone than Flora was.
They protected themselves.
How?
These are some pretty heavy-duty earmuffs. I think they'd be enough to block out the sound.
Right. Let's go over everything from the start. 1. Freya is painting Flora's portrait. They're listening to music on the gramophone.
2. The murderer is hiding in the attic, wearing earmuffs.
3. The golden beetle starts to emit its hissing noise.
Hold on. How did it know?
The beetle?
Yeah, what triggered it at that particular moment? Pointer's research said it makes the noise when it feels threatened.
I'm not sure. Maybe something in the music?
Maybe.
4. Freya and Flora are both knocked unconscious by the vibrations. Freya lands on her back. She drops the brush and palette by her side.
5. The murderer fires the crossbow directly downwards.
6. The arrow is pulled back up on the reel.
7. The murderer leaves the attic, presumably.
8. The door is kicked down. Fitz and Poppy enter the room.
That's it. There's something bothering me.
What?
I just want to check something. Let's go back to the crime scene.
The answer is in the painting. I'm sure of it.
Freya, did you leave us a clue?
So what's bothering you?
Something that's not here. The thing we didn't find. We know she was holding it during the painting.
Flora's ink-dip feather?
It was here, in this room. Where'd it go?
We found it somewhere else. We were a little too late to save it.
So it was stolen from the crime scene, and ended up in the incinerator down in the study.
Someone wanted to destroy it, I guess.
But how? How was it stolen from up here in Flora's tower?
Presumably, Flora dropped it when she fell unconscious.
Yeah, and then what? The murderer couldn't have stolen it if they were up in the attic.
So the question is, how could they steal something from a room they weren't able to access? The final clue about the crime scene. Freya left it for us right here. What's in the unfinished painting? It's not quite a photo, but still, it's an image of the crime scene recorded just before the murder. If only she'd finished it. Then I could be totally sure.
It's true she never finished it, but she did intend to finish it.
Meaning?
We know more about the painting than what Freya actually got down on the canvas. That's not it. Freya prepared all the colors she was going to need before she started painting. The yellow paint was going to be used to paint this sketch of something sitting in the window.
Something in the window. Oh.
There she is. Our little thief.
How long has it been there? Did it hear the whole conversation?
She did. But she's a very good listener. Well now, I think this has quite served its purpose, don't you?
Penny, why did you...
It's Penelope, if you don't mind. But before we begin, isn't there a certain formality demanding our attention? I'm afraid I have to insist. It's to the benefit of us all, I assure you. Lovely. Now, tell me, what was it that drove you this far? I'm ever so curious.
I just need to know the truth.
Is that right? Interesting.
Why did you do it, Penny? What did Freya do to you?
Absolutely nothing.
So, what? You just hated her indiscriminately?
Freya Fellow was an inspiration to us all. She was possessed of a great energy, the volition to create something from nothing, the willpower to walk beyond her boundaries. She was truly free. Everything I couldn't be.
You know what? I just realized I actually have no idea who Penelope Pointer really is.
Weird, isn't it? Considering we've met her, 3 times now?
Exactly. How do we know this one isn't a disguise too?
You think you've already hollowed us out, don't you? Only a few short hours at TangleTower, and you feel like you've got everyone sussed. Unearthed every single one of our secrets. Nothing but bullet points for your notebook. Go on, indulge me. What does it say in your notes about Penelope Pointer? Suppose I can't argue with that, can I?
Penny, we only know what you choose to tell us, so why not help us out?
Very well. Penelope Pointer is actually not very important at all. She pales in comparison to those who came before her and to those that came after. Living at TangleTower, it is very difficult to attain the levels of self-realization you probably take for granted.
You sure this is a TangleTower thing, and not a you thing?
Perhaps you didn't notice. Not one of them is happy, not one.
So why stay? Why not just leave?
I thought she did leave. Penny, you said you traveled, didn't you?
I did. Many times I've walked away. It did not help me. You saw the family tree hanging in the grand hall, did you not?
Yeah, it lists a bunch of people who don't live here anymore.
A bunch of people who don't live here anymore. I couldn't have put it better myself. My mother, for one. My father, too. The other 2 Remingtons. Poppy's mother, Primrose. And her brother, Richard.
And Fitz's father.
That's 5. 5 people that might have lived here, but don't.
And that was the first question I wanted answered.
You wanted to know where they'd all gone?
More than that, I wanted to know if I belonged with them. I have no place here. Not among the Fellows, the Remingtons, or the Pointers. But I felt there must be a reason why everyone else left. Some common purpose they all shared. Perhaps it could be my purpose too.
So, what did you actually do about it?
Nothing I could do, at first. Nobody would tell me anything. The more questions I asked, the fewer answers I got. Then, I found it. I was 19. Same age Freya is now.
Found what?
The study, the one hidden in the middle of the house. It's right next to her bedroom.
I'd hear voices at night, deep ones. And the strangest thing, the wall behind my bed would get incredibly hot. For hours on end, the paint would peel, wallpaper wouldn't stay up. I thought I was cursed. I thought it was something trying to break through. Eventually, I couldn't take it anymore. I found my way in the same way you did. Once you know it's there, it's simple.
So, you got into the study and found the incinerator. That must have been a relief, right?
It was still warm when I found it. Then, I looked inside. Let's see how thorough you've been. Tell me, do you know what a misted is?
Misted?
Mistids? Sure, yeah.
You're more observant than I thought.
Sorry, what are we talking about?
It's a collective term from before my time. Birds, insects, amphibians, anything living off the lake water. The mutation can take several generations, or it can happen overnight.
Wait, mistids, like cryptids, like Bigfoot or whatever.
A little egregious, isn't it? I suspect that was an intentional parallel. The main difference being mistids are perfectly real. They're just kept secret. Or at least, that was the original plan. As it happened, some got out. Quite a few got out.
How do you know all this?
When I entered the study at 19, I found a single object that rather changed my life. Something which answered my questions while at once creating all new ones. The 5 missing family members standing together as a single unit, calling themselves the ambassadors of a misted mansion.
So, the house was renamed from Misted Mansion to TangleTower?
And rightly so. The age of misted mansion is long past. When I looked inside the incinerator on my first visit to the study, I found nothing but ash. The afterimage of a bygone era denied to me in its entirety. The study, the room at the bottom of the lake itself, all empty shells. I felt my only hope lay with the ambassadors. If I could find them, maybe they'd share the family history that Flora and the others were trying so hard to forget.
How did you track them down?
It was tough. They'd taken almost everything. Books, maps, charts, the creatures themselves, all lost, taken away or destroyed. But I got lucky. I got a lead. I found one, and he led me to the rest.
And? What happened? Why'd you paint out all their faces?
They didn't help you either, did they?
19-year-old me had imagined they'd all left with a mission, a unified purpose, but they hadn't. They were, in fact, every bit as fractured as the people that still live here. Most of them had left tracking escaped mistids. Some claimed to be researchers, others little more than hunters. All 5, completely useless to me.
Even your own parents?
Eventually, I returned to TangleTower. I had nowhere else to go. I considered giving up. But instead, I made a decision. There was only one person at TangleTower still of interest to me. My dear Uncle Pointer had suddenly made a show of taking up astronomy. A fairly superficial charade. I don't think many people were fooled by it. But I knew it wasn't just a falsehood. It was a mask. Pointer had found something from the era of Misted Mansion.
So, where did he get the beetle?
I cannot be sure, but I theorize that he received it in the post.
In the post? From who?
Who can say? Someone outside TangleTower. But the thought that he would be in contact with such a person, all that time, I decided to take what was owed to me.
So you stole it.
Stealing the beetle turned out to be only the first step. Upon realizing it was gone, Pointer made little effort to disguise his frustration. I asked what was bothering him. He foresaw no risk in sharing a little of the truth with his niece. He told me he'd lost a rare treasure, something he'd been keeping safe. I suggested, innocently, that perhaps it was not lost. Perhaps it had been stolen. He was very ready to believe he'd been the victim of theft. When I offered to call in a private detective, he jumped on the idea. She arrived the next day. Hawkshaw prides herself on her punctuality, as you know.
Why, though? Why go through all that? The name, the costume, and everything?
It's somewhat sad to admit, but I had little use left for Penny Pointer as she was. Hawkshaw afforded me new advantages, opportunities.
But didn't you have to pretend to be working for Professor Pointer?
Well, that was one of the advantages. Pointer was in such a desperate state, he was finally willing to share some of his secrets. On the second day, Hawkshaw explained she needed to be able to search the secret laboratory. Pointer gave in and gave me the code for the harp statue. Reluctantly, but still.
So, you stole Pointer's research?
I would have done, if I'd found anything worth stealing. But he had made remarkably little progress, barely scratching the surface of the beetle's true mystery.
Which is?
It carries an exoskeleton approximately 90% identical to gold. But it's not the 90% I'm interested in. Did you ever question what exactly makes the water here so unique? Before Misted Mansion was built over the lake, before the lake was even a lake, Lord Remington and his wife built a small structure here, a research station, supposedly. Fast forward 2 or 3 generations, and as you saw for yourself, it's been mostly cleared out.
The ambassadors took everything when they left.
And everything they didn't take was burned in the incinerator. However, possessing additional insight, I found something the others had missed. It's not much, but I have what I need.
So, why isn't this the end of the story? Why did you stay? Why did you kill Freya?
Simply put, Freya was too good for me. It's my fault. I pushed her over the edge, unknowingly, but still, I take the blame.
What are you talking about?
Did you know I based the design for Hawkshaw on something Freya painted? That's right. I had assumed it was purely abstract. I just thought it had a good energy. I later discovered it was a figure of some kind, something from Freya's recurring nightmare. For all her vitality, I think Freya was probably the most troubled of all of us. She was desperate to leave TangleTower, but she couldn't just walk away. For quite some time, she'd been trying to break into Pointer's laboratory. Freya and her friends were halfway through deciphering those symbols on the harp statue, I believe.
Why did she care about getting into Pointer's lab?
That's exactly what I wondered. At first, I thought perhaps she just wanted to free the beetles. She has a fondness for them. What Pointer was doing upset her significantly. But in fact, I think it was something else. I think she wanted to free Fiona. The real reason Freya was unable to leave TangleTower is that she could not get Fiona to agree to come with her. We're now firmly in the realm of speculation, but I think Freya felt that exposing the darker secrets of TangleTower, not just to the rest of the family, but to the world, would compromise all three families, and perhaps, somehow, free Fiona from the shackles of her inheritance. That was her plan anyway, but something happened before Freya could find her way into Pointer's laboratory.
She found her way into your study, found your notes, found that photograph. I'm willing to bet she put it all together quicker than we did.
So she worked out what had happened to the 5 ambassadors. Specifically, what you'd done to them when they refused to help you.
Freya had made a promise to paint Flora as a birthday gift, a parting gift no less. She'd be in a locked room, several hours away from her friends. It was my best chance.
But why hide in the attic? And why bother with the beetle at all?
The beetle in the gramophone wasn't for Freya. It was for Flora. She didn't deserve to be involved. She suffered enough. I couldn't get Flora out of her room, but if she could be unconscious, then she wouldn't have to witness anything.
Why the knife? The illusion of the painted knife with the blood.
That was for Fiona. And Poppy too, I suppose. Gave them something to focus on.
You mean it distracted them while you made your escape?
It helped them cope. The very idea of something abstract, something supernatural. I believe it made things marginally less painful for them, initially. Worked on you, too.
So why are you still here? Why not take your first chance and leave?
Well, I've been waiting for an opportunity to get my beetle back. I'd really rather not leave without it.
Wait, it's still here?
It's still inside the gramophone.
What's going on?
Poppy, they are both awake.
I can see.
You two all right?
My head hurts. What happened to us?
You were both unconscious. 14 minutes by my count.
Really?
You're both fine. No injuries.
Was it the beetle? In the gramophone? I heard it through the ceiling in my room.
The exact same sound we heard before the murder.
I guess it must have been.
So how did we get down here? What happened to Penny?
Fitz saved both of you, obviously.
When I reached Flora's tower, you were both unconscious, and Penny was crouched down beside you. She had her crossbow on her, but who knows? She may have just been checking you were both asleep.
Did you know that she was the murderer?
Poppy and Fifi suspected her. Apparently, they were pretty close to solving it themselves.
Fitz did not want to believe us, because he liked Penny. A lot.
But what happened? Fitz, what did she do when she saw you?
She jumped out the window.
What? Did she survive?
She did.
I heard something land in the garden outside my room, but by the time I got out there to check, she was already gone.
Hang on. Poppy, why do you have Penny's hat bird?
She left him behind. I found him sitting on the floor in the aviary, all by himself. Poor little thing. The mean lady didn't care about you at all, did she? No, she didn't.
I apologize. Poppy seems to be under the illusion that the bird can understand human language.
So, Penny got away.
I'm afraid she did.
We had suspected she might try to escape. I was stationed here by the lake's edge. I proved to be an ineffective guard. She took the boat.
Did she take the beetle with her?
Nope,
How do you know?
because it's right here.
It was still in the gramophone. I guess I scared her off before she had a chance to take it.
Poppy, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to give it back to your father?
No, I'm not. It doesn't belong to anyone. So, I'm going to put it on the ground and never bother it again. I think that's what she would have wanted.
なんでそこ入ってないかね。嘘。マジか。じゃあもうシンプルにゲームを楽しんでもらうことになってしまうじゃないか。まあいいか。マジかいな。ゴムまあしょうがねえ。もう俺はこのゲームをクリアしてしまったからな。かわいいかわいいずーっと言ってたのに。へこむわ。へこむわ。へこむで。かなっぴ。とはいえタングルタワーをクリアしたぜ。次どうしよう。バイオかサムレム。声入ってなかったのが結構ショック。結局この後ろの記号はよくわからなかったな。なんでもなかったな。クロちゃんもそう言っている。なんでマイク設定取れてたんだろう。なんかいろいろ今日は棒読みもそうだけど設定がおかしくなってたな。困るなこういうの。一旦タングルタワーは終わり。終わるぜ。どうしよっかな。なんか生かしたミュージックでも流そう。 うーん。うーん。どうしよっかな。ダングルタワーをクリアしました。洋芸でした。お、全部実績もアンロックしたし。トレーディングカードがある。なんだ、これはどうやったら得られるんだ。アーメイストング。次回作が出るようだから、これは日本語化待つぜ。はてはて。次なぁ。まあ、バイオやってもいいんだけど、サムレム、やりてー。サムレムやりてーよなぁ。見ていいけどな、セールになってから買いたい。あよかな。全然やったことないタイプのやつやりたい。どれできてないじゃん。初見バイオかね、次は。いやー、いいな、トンチキセールしてくれるから。買っちゃうんだよね。ダンス・オブ・ファイア&アイスもちょっと気になるし。デモがあるんだっけ。で、 おー、やめてください。こりゃ。ああ。微妙にずれてんだよな。ああ。あ、これむずい。かもしれん。あきゃー。なるほど。あべえ。音ゲー下手か？そっか、ここで。やべえ。うんうん。確かにリズム天国かも。あー、リズム天国。えー。これ、いいかも。買うか。うん。ほーん。え？あ、いや。うわ、長え。永遠かも。えー。ああ、今押しそびれた。これ指疲れる。え、 いいな。割と。いいかも。買うわ。お前。うーん。うわー、なんだこのステージ。よし。ああ。いや、これ、でも、間違えたら終わりなのきついな。流れで押さないようにしないといけないな。あった。うー。いやー、そうか。声入ってなかったの悲しい。まあ、純粋にゲームを楽しんでもらえるが、それでは意味がないのじゃ。実況の、配信の意味がないのじゃ。しょうがないね。あー、ミスった。悲しい。次回どうしようかな。バイオか、今の赤と青のやつか。どっちか。やる。タングルタワー面白かったな。絵も良かったし、音楽も良かった。かなり良かった。満足度が高いぜ。うん。よし。謎解きゲーを少しずつ崩せている。いいぜ。でも次は謎解きも関係ないし、音ゲーか銃を撃つゲームをやる。うーん。ちもいいな。うーん。アムレムな、どうしよう。早くやりたいけど、まだ配信でやれないからな。ユータンのパートは。まあまあ、ちょっと、またセールしないか様子を見ましょう。ね。だから、まあ、バイオ、やろっかな。10番番ゲー。初見10。10番番ゲーって、やったことないかな。なんか本格的に銃を撃って敵を倒すゲームっていうのをやったことがないかもしれない。そもそもアクションゲームが苦手だから、この手のゲームをやってこなかったし、うん。なんか単性じゃないとできないから、できなかったから、適性がないかもしれないけど、まあ、やってみたいからやるぜ。一回ぐらい銃を撃つゲームってのをやりてんだ。 俺らよ。だから、バイルの1と0を買ったから、残り0もリマスター版のダウンロード終わったし。あとは積んでる謎解きゲーはタロスとピルグリムス。タロスもまた全然雰囲気が違くて、どんななのか想像がつかないぜ。出てるのかな。で、スティームをよいしょ。よいしょ。ああ、縦か。よいしょ。
Than curiosity.
でかい。
Our mythologies are full of riddles and mysteries and divine knowledge.
わかんないっぴ。
My child, you may go freely to all the worlds of my garden. But if the tower tempts you, be wise. Do not let yourself be misled by doubt. For it shall bring death and the end of your generations. So be it. Let your will be done.
For weeks, an artificial intelligence has been testing Crow Team's The Talos Principle, searching for errors, loopholes, flaws. Now it's time to add the human element.
うわ、これ酔いそう。なんか物を吹き飛ばしたりするんやな。ああ、酔いそうだなこれ。いや、できるかな。普通に物理的な理由で断念する可能性が出てきたな。いや、買ってるからやるんだが。
Will the world you build be like
Wow.
ours, or so different that we today cannot even
Wow.
imagine it?
Your will is free because you were made to
あ、テトリス。あ、テトリス。
Let your will be done.
タロスの原理。あ、いい。あるぞ。なんかその前にゾンビを倒す。多分次はバイオ。わあ、危ねえ。ネタバレを踏む。うん。何これ。ワンちゃんこれ。あ、かわいい。あ、違うわ。これ機関車だ。くそ。あ、これもな。なかなかいい。確かにダンス。リズム天国みたいな感じで、シンプルだけど難しそうで、ああ。へへへ。やば。 あ、かわいい。わあ、いい。ああ。なんで回るんすか。オッケー。おー、コスモ。あへえ。お、なんだお前は。ネズミの王。なんじゃこりゃ。すげえな、こりゃ。なんじゃこりゃ。面白いゲームが世界にはいっぱいあるぜ。ああ。よし、今日は終わり。タングルタワー。いやー、後半と入ってなかったの悲しすぎる。君の目で確かめてくれ。ということで、終わり。じゃあねー。